2026 at 6 p.m. Please join us in a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item number 2, I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Showers, Ms. Palmer, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, item number 3, I would like to entertain a motion to approve the following minutes. The minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting of March 11th, 2026.
So moved.
Ms. Tilton?
Second.
Mr. Bourbonnaire? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The minutes of the special meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education Finance and Operations Committee of March 9th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bourbonnaire, Ms. Palmer, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. And then finally, the minutes of the special meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education Curriculum and Instruction Committee of March 16th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Tilton, Mr. Foote, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to item number 4. We have some new student representatives here with us. We're very excited. From Eli Terry Junior Middle School, we have Julia, can you pronounce your last name for me?
Matuzak.
Matuzak.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, always correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Julia Matuzak.
On behalf of the Eli Terry Junior School Committee, we would like to thank Superintendent Falcone and the Board of Education for providing us with this opportunity to represent our school. Our 8th grade basketball players went up against the staff on March 5th. Despite the best efforts of the students, the staff was victorious again. During the game, the Student Council ran concessions, raising over $600 for the 8th grade dance. Student Council also ran a successful halftime show, during which volunteers participated in 3 different games and won a variety of prizes. Yesterday was the 9th annual Day of Kindness. To celebrate, students and staff at ETJ wore purple and took part in various activities to practice showing and recognizing kindness. One activity was a scavenger hunt where students looked for a kindness message to spread around the building to complete their purple kindness key. And this is the kindness key. It says, "Kindness is the key to unlocking the best school climate." The completed keys will be on display in the front lobby. We also passed around key necklaces to students and staff who were caught being kind. This is the key necklace. All students also received a Be Kind keychain as a reminder to choose kindness every day. And then this is the keychain. All ETJMS students will participate in SBAC testing during the week of May 6th and May 13th. This is an opportunity for all students to work hard and show what they have learned throughout the school year. As a fun incentive, students are able to earn a different color bracelet every day for showing up prepared and trying their best. Students who earn all their bracelets will get a special reward at the end of the testing.
Great job, Julia.
Thank
We
you.
welcome you. We're very happy to have representation from our middle school.
Thank you.
Do any board members have any questions for Julia?
You did a great job.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great
Thank
job,
you.
Julia.
Awesome
Thank you
job.
so much.
You weren't even nervous. Not at all.
Put pressure on us for doing our
Yeah,
reports.
we're gonna have
later
to
on.
step
Oh,
up now.
smokes.
Whew. All right, now our representatives from Terryville High School, Tiana and Brian.
Hi.
THS is celebrating Earth Day on the 22nd. Student Council sent a message out to all teachers asking what home items they would like to use in their classrooms. We received many requests, including magazines, bubble wrap, small boxes for storage, and much more. Earth Day is next Wednesday, but we will be holding a collection for the list of items requested all throughout next week. Our goal is to encourage the recycling model of reduce, reuse, recycle. We hope that students and staff will bring in these items from their homes that would have otherwise been thrown out.
11 students went to Europe over April break. They traveled to London, Paris, and Rome over the course of 9 jam-packed days of excitement. Some of the amazing things they experienced were riding the London Eye, entering the British Museum, seeing the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, marveling at the Colosseum, and trying world-famous gelato. After their trip, many students have expressed an interest in studying abroad at some point during their college careers.
For new Board of Education members, Unified Buddies is a group of regular education and special education students who come together for events and activities and form unique friendships. This program has been running for the past 4 years and has made leaps and bounds in bridging the gap between special and regular education students. Before April break, the club took a trip to Thomaston High School for an event filled with games and snacks. Students not only got to connect with other Terrible students, but also got the opportunity to meet students from Thomaston. Unified Buddies has a couple more events planned before the end of the year, and we can't wait to share with you next meeting.
Our club, Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA for short, attended their annual state conference on March 17th at the Connecticut Convention Center. This year, we have 12 members in the club centered on giving students the opportunity to learn about a wide variety of topics that help them in their future careers and overall life. Terryville High School was happy to come home with 2 awards for Alexa Shimshak and Arya Ralph-Peralt. Alexa competed in the Introduction to FBLA and won 2nd place, and Arya competed in Journalism and won 4th place. With over 1,000 students who attend this conference each year, we are incredibly proud of these students and their accomplishments.
Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. Student Council has planned 2 things to show our teachers and school staff how much we appreciate them. Student Council will continue the tradition of making handmade personalized cards for each staff member. Last year, we organized a t-shirt tie-dye station to give teachers another option to wear on dress-down days. This year, we wanted something from every student. So we decided to create prompts like, "You've helped me grow throughout the year," and "I look forward to your class." On the Wednesday of Teacher Appreciation Week, students will receive the phrases written on slips of paper and will be encouraged to write more if they wish. And they will then give the paper to a teacher or staff member of their choice.
The Drama Club is putting on Mean Girls for the spring play. There are about 45 middle school and high schoolers participating in the play. They will be showing off their hard work on Friday, May 1st, and Saturday, May 2nd, both at 7 p.m. Please come and show your support to our amazing performers and everyone behind the scenes.
AP testing season begins on May 4th this year. For roughly 2 weeks, students who took AP courses will take their respective tests on their testing days. Many students have requested Remy, the therapy dog, to come for as many days as possible to calm their nerves before the big tests. Student Council will also be providing a snack table for the first time before the test begins and during breaks to give students the best shot at being successful.
The annual Leo Club Harvest Pack was held in the cafeteria on March 19th. Leo Club members, like me and Fallon, got to work together with teachers, community members, and eager students, and we were able to pack 13,000 meals in only a few hours to be sent to Ghana through the orphan grain train.
I don't want to correct our students, but it was 13,560 meals, which is 560 more than last year. And we want to thank Pastor Dick Dill, who helped organize that event, and his team. I want to thank Ryan Valentine here from the high school and Marty Sandshaw, who helped with the Leos, and all of the students that did show up for that event and the community members. It's really an amazing, amazing thing. And what they do is they pack rice, vegetables, and vitamins into packets.
Yes.
And then when you add water to it, it makes enough food to feed a family.
Yeah, 6 people.
So that's 13,560 families you're going to feed. So nice job.
Well, as always, ladies, I know that at least one of you needs to stay for a little bit longer, but you are welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, and you are welcome to also be excused if you need to be for something.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, item number 5, we are up to presentation.
So each year we identify 2 students at the middle school and 2 students at the high school who stand out as outstanding citizens and students. They not only have a high academic standard, but they're also leaders within their school, and they're exceptionally kind and respectful to our staff and their peers. These students are chosen by their teachers and by their administrators to be the Litchfield County Superintendent Award winners. And this evening I have Ms. Hurd from the high school and Mr. Vigliotti from the middle school here to introduce the 2026 winners from their schools.
Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Falcone, and members of the Plymouth Public School community. It is my distinct honor to be here tonight to present the 25-26 Superintendent Awards for Eli Terry Junior Middle School. As Superintendent Falcone just said, these awards are selected by the staff at the middle school and go to high-achieving male and female student in the 8th grade class who demonstrate excellence in the classroom and the wider school community, along with impeccable citizenship and kindness towards others. For the past 3 years, from 6th through 8th grade, our 2 recipients have been the living embodiment of the ETJMS motto: show up, work hard, be kind. So first, I'm gonna have her stand up. I'm proud to recognize Harper Yanovich. Harper is a student who demonstrates all of the ideal characteristics of an ETJMS Bulldog. She's a member of the school volleyball and softball teams, as well as the Pep Club, Leo Club, and Yearbook Club. Whether she is playing the trumpet in our band, competing on our teams, or planning our pep rallies, Harper is an intrinsically motivated leader. Her teachers describe her as an exceptional student with a strong desire to apply her learning to real-world situations. Beyond her intellect, however, is a remarkable spirit of service. All of the adults that have worked with Harper speak about kindness as her defining characteristic. She is a student who truly cares about the well-being of others and is always the first to offer a helping hand. Her heart for her peers makes her a pleasure to have in our building, and we are incredibly proud to award this honor to her. Congratulations. Next, I'm honored to introduce Jackson Scholl. Jackson is a student who also demonstrates all of the ideal characteristics of an ETJMS Bulldog. He is a multi-talented musician, playing the clarinet in our band, and I hear he's a drummer at home as well. And he's a longtime student of karate, an active member of the Boy Scouts. Jackson is a hard-working, curious, and bright young man whose quick wit and desire to learn actually inspires his teachers to bring fresh, fun ideas to the classroom. And I did not make that up. One of your teachers actually said that about you. You inspire her to bring fresh, fun ideas to the classroom. That's quite a fantastic thing to hear from a teacher. So that was really impressive. Good job, Jackson. His leadership is perhaps best reflected by his peers, who selected him to serve as captain for our cross-country team, and most recently, although I don't think he knows this yet, as captain for our upcoming track season as well. Jackson's teachers also specifically note his consistent character, sharing that every day, without fail, he takes the time to say goodbye and have a good day at the end of every class. So, congratulations, Jackson. Students like Harper and Jackson are the standard bearers for Eli Terry Junior Middle School. While their accolades in athletics, music, and academics are impressive, it is their character that has truly left a mark on our community. Over the last 3 years, they have helped shape our school culture into one of both respect and ambition. While we will certainly miss their presence at ETJMS, we send them off to high school with the utmost confidence. We know they will continue to show up, work hard, and be kind, and achieve incredible success in high school and beyond. Congratulations one more time, Harper and Jackson.
Now, Mr. Vigliotti is known to speak for a pretty long time. And so when I go visit a school, I'm usually there for a good 2 hours. But I made a bet with Ms. Malillo on who would speak longer tonight. Miss Hurd or Mr. Vigliotti, so let's see who wins this bet.
I feel like that's cheating. Yeah.
A little bit.
We have the same size font though.
Well, congratulations to our Eli students. I hope I get to know you over the coming years. I'm here to present the same award, the Superintendent's Award, to two of our senior students. If you've attended any THS events in the past few years, you've more than likely seen them buzzing around and helping, but I'd like to tell you a little more about them. Both of these students are top of their class academically, members of the National Honor Society, class officers, members of the Student Council, and student athletes. That's just the beginning. Their involvement across clubs and communities is so extensive. I'm not going to stand here because then I would lose that bet about time. If you both can come up, it's my honor to introduce Drew Fowler and Fallon Roth-Peralt. Good evening. So Fallon, the board knows well as she's been a student representative for 2 years and reports the happenings of THS with you each month. Fallon is, without question, the most dedicated student council member we've had over the years. She studies the system that is a high school, and she brings forward many ideas and recommendations for improvement. And she's literally running track and cross country and indoor track. But she's running here, there, and everywhere before school and meetings after school almost every day. And as the board, you've seen firsthand with Fallon being a student rep, she's a huge advocate for her peers and her community. Next year, she's leaving us, Fallon is attending UConn at Storrs. She's been accepted into the honors program and plans to major in political science. Congratulations. Next, Drew Fowler. Drew has certainly made his mark on THS. He makes it look easy to balance academics, extracurricular activities, and his social life. One of my favorite memories, and he kicked off his junior year with this event, was the Drew's Walk for Gold. It was a huge event here at the high school on the weekend. There were food trucks, raffles, a huge raffle, games, the flatbed truck where the bands played all day over the track while people racked up their laps. Not a detail was missed, and over $16,000 was raised for Connecticut Children's Hospital. My own two children, who were 7 and 8 at the time, still talk about it as their favorite event they've attended here. So, Drew has a really tough decision to make. He's received his college acceptance letters. Will he go to UConn, Boston University, Brown, or Yale? I checked with him this morning. He's still making his pros and cons list. It's okay. He plans to major in mathematics, knowing that it will be a good jumping off point for maybe a future in financial law. Drew and Fallon leave behind big shoes to fill, and we are incredibly proud of all they have accomplished. We look forward to seeing all they will achieve in the years ahead. Please join me in congratulating Drew Fowler and Fallon Roth-Peralt. Are we doing a picture, Mr. Felker?
Yeah, so I was going to say that these four outstanding students and their parents have been invited to the award ceremony at the Grand Oak Villa on May 5th. And so at this time, if the board's okay, if we could take a second just to have the students and their families come up, take a quick picture with us so we could post it on our website to brag a little bit. So, thank you.
All right, go in the center there.
Yeah. Actually, I don't
From Terryville High School, Mrs. Hurd. Hi, good evening. I'll be brief because I'm going to introduce who's coming up next.
Okay.
I know they're all still celebrating behind me. One more thing from the high school. I'm going to introduce our Career Center counselor, Alyssa Glazier, and a few of our students are here, and they're going to share some of the happenings of our very busy Career Center.
Thanks, Jess. Good evening, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak tonight. For those of you that I haven't met yet, my name is Alyssa Glazier, and I'm the career counselor at the high school. When Mike originally asked me to speak tonight, he told me I had 5 to 10 minutes, which I knew it was going to be a struggle to try to fit in everything that we do in the Career Center in that time. So I'll try to focus on the highlights. And then I also have some of our wonderful students here tonight to share out on their experiences. So 4 years ago, when I stepped into this role, there wasn't a fully established Career Center here at the high school. And in our early conversations with Brian and Mike, I was given the opportunity to build something that would truly support our students in planning for life after high school. And as we discussed our vision for this new Career Center, our goal was actually pretty simple. When our students walk across that stage in June on graduation day, that we're not just handing them a diploma, but that they leave with a direction, that they have a clear and confident plan for what comes next, and that plan really aligns with who they are, their natural skill set, their interests, and their goals, and something that they're excited about. So how do we make that happen? Well, we start really early, and every student who comes in freshman year fills out a Career Center survey. And then with that information, that helps me build an evolving plan for them as they transition through the program here. The reality is that students do not figure out what they want to do by just reading about it. It really comes down to the experiences that they have. And we offer tons of experiences here. I've talked to counselors in other districts, and I can tell you that what we offer at Terryville is really exceptional. We started Future Fridays this year. It's pretty much every Friday, students go out into the community. They visit businesses, colleges, trade programs, and careers across a wide range of industries. These are real-world, hands-on opportunities that students choose based on their interests. We also bring in professionals for lunch and learns. These are sessions where more of like an informal setting where students have the opportunity to meet with professionals, have lunch with them, and ask questions. Alongside with those experiences, we also focus heavily on individualized support. So this is one-on-one counseling and finding out what actually fits them based on their values, their strengths, their goals, and the kind of life that they want to build. So, also, we have the Career Exploration Capstone course, which all juniors are now required to take. And in this course, they learn some of those like real world skills that they need for when they go out into the job. They create a resume, they learn how to network, they learn how to communicate professionally. Actually, just yesterday, I do these meetings every day. And yesterday I had one of my juniors come up and he was meeting with a real estate agent. He was like, "Ms. Glazer, is it bad that I'm nervous to do this?" And I said, "No, it's completely normal. Like this is, the first time you do it." And I said, "But I'll be there and we'll go through it." And he met with her, and she was from Berkshire Hathaway, and she extended the opportunity for him to come out anytime and like shadow her in the field. And afterwards, he was like, "Oh, that was actually pretty easy, and that worked out really well." And I said, "Yeah," and I was thinking about it afterwards. And we set up these meetings so that the students have an opportunity to learn more about the professions, but it's really about those communication skills that employers are looking for. And so like through those meetings, they're learning how to communicate with professionals. So it's really double-sided. All right, so looking at the last 4 years, we have completed over 80 career-related field trips. We've hosted more than 40 in-school guest speakers. We have connected students with well over 300 professionals across all 16 career clusters. And just this year alone, we've hosted 25 career exploration trips. Looking at our upcoming senior class, we have 30% of our seniors attending four-year colleges. We have 45% attending two-year college and taking advantage of that free tuition at the community college. We have 20% going into trades, 3% going to work, and 2% into the military. So that's about 75% of our students that are college bound. Within that group, this is interesting that 40% are actually pursuing careers in healthcare and medical related majors. And then with the additional 20% heading into skilled trades, that's not by accident. As we look at the future world of work, we're having real conversations with students about the stability, demand, and long-term opportunities. And the reality is really that many of the most in-demand and future-stable careers are in healthcare and the skilled trades. These are fields that require critical thinking, hands-on skill, and human connection. These are things that AI cannot replace. And what's really exciting is that this aligns directly with what we're seeing from our students. They're interested in these fields and they're motivated to explore them. Because of that interest, we've really expanded opportunities into healthcare and the trades, but we're still exposing them to students to a wide range of career paths. So at this point, I'm going to go really quickly through our slideshow. I would love to sit here and tell you about all the different trips, but I know I'm trying to keep it in that 10-minute window. So we're going to go through the slides really, really quickly, and then I'm going to have the students share out on their experiences. So this was a trip to Waterbury Hospital. We did a clinical tour. Students got some actual certifications on that trip. We visited the emergency room. They had a lunch and learn with the CEO of Waterbury Hospital and some of the surgeons that work there. So they're getting the opportunity to see the actual patient rooms, and talk to the actual doctors and professionals. We bridged a partnership with Bristol Hospital this year, where we're going to visit different departments in upcoming years. This year we highlighted the radiology department. Students got to sit in and actually see actual patient ultrasounds, and one of our students actually sat and had a cardiac ultrasound, and the students got to see that firsthand. So those are opportunities that students, I don't think, are getting at other schools. Another hospital trip, Hartford Hospital, we went on top and saw the LifeStar helicopter. We had students deliver babies through mannequin babies.
Good call.
Yeah. But great opportunities. Okay, you keep going. Our PVAC came in and did a lunch and learn for our students to highlight EMTs and paramedics. This is where I need the clicker. Ben told me that it'd be easier if I had it, and I was like, no, you do it. All right, so every year we do a STEM symposium at Southern Connecticut State University. This is more like, we have, they're like biomedical engineering companies that come in. It's more of like research and the things behind healthcare. So that's another great opportunity for students to do some hands-on activities. For our students interested in animal healthcare, we went and visited Dr. Emily Elliott at Chippens Hill. She's awesome. We started a medical careers club this year. So we have the American Health Education Center coming in every other Monday after school for students, and they can get some certifications through this club as well. A science fair, STEM career fair. So it wasn't just a visit to the science center, which was fun, but there was tons of companies there too in the engineering, technology fields that we got to speak with. And then we always have, every year I try to do one cosmetology trip. So I did highlight a different school every year. This year we went to Paul Mitchell. We visit a couple of community colleges. This year we visited Tunxus and Naugatuck. This was a cool opportunity for those of you that know the upcoming Nash in the Ville that's going to open in a couple weeks. We went back in October, so as you can see, it was still under construction, but we met with Randy. He talked to us about his entrepreneurial endeavors, and then there was a bunch of trade people on site too, so we got to talk to masons, and we got to talk to electricians and all the different carpenters, so it was a really multifaceted trip. Women in Business. This was with JP Morgan Chase and the Barney School of Business at University of Hartford, highlighting women, strong women in business. Bristol Tech. We have a great partnership with Bristol Tech. Interestingly enough, when I started here in 2022, there's only one student enrolled in Bristol Tech. And what's great about Bristol Tech is we still maintain our students here as Terryville students, but they get to go out and get the skills that they need for a trade. Since then, letting students know about it, bringing students on trips, we have 15 students enrolled this year. Loretano's right in our backyard. They're always awesome and willing to host us. They have highlight all different professions like manufacturing, graphic design, business, welding, installation. And it's right literally in our backyard. Lincoln Tech is another trade opportunity. All right, I think at this point, in the interest of time, you can always look at the slides afterwards, but I just wanted to highlight some of our trips, and now I'm gonna have our students come up and share. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Madison McWilliams, and next year I will be attending Naugatuck Valley Community College, where I plan to pursue a career as a cardiac ultrasound technician. Mrs. Glazer has supported me in building meaningful relationships with future professors and guided me in creating a strong resume. Some of the most impactful experiences I've had include touring Naugatuck Valley Community College and visiting their radiology department. Just recently, I attended a Future Fridays Career Center trip to Bristol Hospital, where I had the opportunity to shadow a cardiac sonographer and observe patient care firsthand. That experience truly confirmed for me that this is the path I want to pursue. Since then, I have met with program directors from Yale Hospital's ultrasound program and the Hoffman Heart Center at St. Francis Hospital. These meetings, arranged by Mrs. Glazer through the Career Center, have helped me clearly understand the steps I need to take to become a strong applicant for these competitive programs. I was also able to network with the directors, which will be a strong benefit when it comes time to apply. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marley Molsick, and next year I'm going to be attending the University of Delaware on the track of pre-physician assistant. Going into high school, I was not sure what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a speech-language pathologist, and through Ms. Glazer at the Career Center, I have learned that I actually do want to be a physician assistant. I attended a lot of information sessions. One that stood out to me that Ms. Glazer had coordinated for me was a plastic surgery physician assistant at Hartford Hospital. And then I also attended the UConn Hospital Women in Medicine. It's like a day-long field trip, and it was on the weekend, and I really enjoyed that. I made a lot of friends, and it helped me further my passion for medicine. I also attended an information session for the UConn PharmD program, and that was very interesting. And then I've done lots of college tours. As you can see, I have gone to Central Connecticut, UConn, Naugatuck Valley, and then I also attended the career fair in Hartford, which is where I learned about the University of Delaware and decided that that's where I wanted to go. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Marquise Johnson. Going into junior year and senior year, which is now, I really did want to hone into what I wanted to do. I had a slight interest in like the trades and carpentry, but I didn't want to be like doing the hard work. Like I wanted to find a way to do an in-between between like business and like the actual trades. And I thought, since we have the Career Center, Ms. Glazer, I might as well use it. And starting last year, I went to many field trips, like the Downs construction field trip. I went to a career day for construction where I learned about different routes and options that I can go into, like school or like even like trade school. I interviewed many people, like people from the Downs construction field trip that I met on the field trip, where I got to interview them, ask them about different options they thought, and even like ways that I could get into those routes. And I think the one that helped me the most, which I mentioned, is Downs construction field trip, because there I was able to meet a project manager, and he was explaining how through like if you go to college, you can kind of get the best of both worlds, where you'll be like insight, you'll be able to talk to the trade people, get to know a little stuff while also learning the business side. And if it weren't for Ms. Glazer and the Career Center, I would have never been able to find that route. And now, starting next fall, I will be going to Central Connecticut State for construction management, where I hope I can further my goals and career, and hopefully be in a construction field, and hopefully one day open my own business. And it's all thanks to Ms. Glazer and the Career Center. So thank you all.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cooper Garrity. I'm a senior here at Taylorville High School. I just want to talk about my experience here at the CEC. Next year I will be attending the Construction Education Center in Plainville. my career, my career path was unknown coming in. Coming into high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew traditional, regular college was not for me, but I almost felt pressured into that from, many people. That's kind of the path most people take. But junior year, I took CEC, and she showed me that that's not the only way that you have to go. You can go into trades, and that's where I discovered what I wanted to do, which was carpentry. We went on many trips. Downs Construction last year, I think, was my most impactful. They were building a police station. That's where I got to talk to an apprentice, someone who was a carpenter, who was making his way to the top. He talked to me a lot. I set up many interviews with him and emails, and he really taught me a lot about how the process of getting through it and how traditional college is not necessary to live a successful career. But CEC also taught me many skills on just talking to people, setting up interviews, helped me get my first job over the summer, helped me build a resume to be able to submit, and just gave me basic skills on how to talk to professionals and really how to operate in a professional setting. But it's still helping me out. I'm still going to many field trips, interviews. We just recently had one with the owner of Downs Construction, set up by Ms. Glazier. So CEC has helped me tremendously with getting ready for what's next after high school and showing me that traditional college is not necessary. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Aljan Sadrio, and when I came into the school about a year ago, I was quite unsure of what I wanted to do. I was stuck between either going into cybersecurity, computer science, or healthcare. However, now through the Career Center, I made that decision. One of the most meaningful or impactful experiences that I had in the Career Center is we went to the Waterbury Hospital trip, where there we toured some different departments. However, the one that really stood out to me was the radiology one, where I got to talk to some of the workers, ask about their lives, about what college they went to, how's the pay, and everything like that. Another impactful or another thing that the Career Center informed me about was community college and how for the first 2 years are free. And actually last month we got a tour Naugatuck Valley, where over there I actually got to talk to some of the X-ray tech students, where they explained to me how hard the classes are, how everything goes. So next year I plan on going to CT State Community College and becoming a X-ray technician. The Career Center has also helped me develop my public speaking skills and helped me make a resume, get my first job, and overall set me up for a bright future. So I want to thank Ms. Glazier, and I want to thank you everyone here for listening. And have a good night.
So what I'll say is this is what high school's about. As a high school principal, there was one year I was talking to a student who told me they didn't know what was going to happen the day after graduation. And that, to me, made me as the principal feel like I was failing the students in my school to not know what they're doing when they're walking across that stage at graduation. And it's to give each student some sort of a plan, and it doesn't have to be the 4-year college, as most of you or some of you have spoken about, or even a 2-year college. It could be going into a trade. And I've worked with Alyssa in the past, and when we got here, Beth and I, it was one of those people that we really wanted to entice to come, because this is about connections with kids. This is about making connections with young adults to help find their way. And this morning we were walking out of Rotary at the Eagle's Nest, and we're in the parking lot, and Alyssa wants to buy a hot tub. But that was what we were talking about. And then a former student came up to her and started talking about the plan that she helped create for her, and how she's going to community college now, and that she's going to end up working at the honky tonk for a little bit while she's going to community college to become a nurse and transition. And Alyssa knew who the student was, had that connection, and she has that with all of her students. So we are very fortunate to have her. But for our students, the experience you're getting is unique, because not every high school does this. And so for Mr. Holtz, Ms. Hurd, to have this here and to make this a priority with the classes and the graduation requirements you have, it's really just an impressive program. And all how many, there are 4 or 5 of you, I can't tell. But you guys did an amazing job. You did an amazing job.
They
Thank
didn't
you.
use notes. I had notes. They didn't use notes.
And they make us look bad, right? But great job, guys.
Yeah, thank you. All right. We are on to item number 6, which is public comment. We will start with in-person public comment. Please come to the podium, sign your name, state your name and address, and share your thoughts. One more call for public comment.
Hi, Meredith Patel, 2 Fairview Ave Extension, Terryville. I just wanted to commend Alyssa for everything she does in that career center. She is in the business office frequently, setting up her trips. They go so many places. And when I was a student here, the career center was just kind of coming together, and these opportunities were not a thing that we were presented with. And we were basically guided, graduate high school and go to a 4-year school and get a degree and you can do anything you want. And realistically, that does not work for all of us. And I think some of us floundered, some of us were successful. And it's just really, really nice to see that the students now are being given these opportunities and they're being told that there are different alternate routes. There are other options that they can do. And success does not look the same for everybody, but it's what you want to do and what makes you happy. And it's just really nice to see that that's a thing for them now. So thank you.
All right, anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to online public comment. No public comment online, all right.
Beautiful.
That moves us to item number 7, the superintendent's update.
So yesterday evening, the Board of Education met with the Town Council to discuss our 2026-2027 proposed budget and our capital improvement needs. The meeting provided the Town Council the opportunity to ask some clarifying questions on our budget and to better understand what our budget and capital priorities really are moving forward. With that being said, at this point in time, the Board of Finance has reduced the Board of Education's adopted 3.99% budget increase to my original 3.72% budget increase. What that means is it's a $74,750 cut to the adopted Board of Education budget. That equals the 2 regular education teacher aides that the board put in and the additional security monitor for one of our schools. If the Town Council passes the 3.72% increase, it will preserve our current school structure the way it is. There'll be no additional positions added or eliminated. We just stay as we are. The final decision with regard to our budget will be made at the tri-board meeting between the Board of Finance, Town Council, and Board of Education. That meeting will take place next Tuesday, April 21st at 6 o'clock in the Town Hall Community Room. For our school community, this is the most crucial meeting that we have with regard to our educational budget. And I encourage as many members of our school community to attend the meeting and share their thoughts and feelings with regard to the school district's proposed budget. And finally, I have one more thing, and it's now that April break is done, we once again sent out our school climate study to all 4 schools. Our goal is to survey our students in all the schools with the exception of Plymouth Center because they're a little too young for the survey. All of our parents and all of our certified and non-certified staff, and we're looking to gather information to help us modify and adjust our individual school climate improvement plans. I plan on taking that information between when the survey closes and the end of the year and finding the common themes and presenting that to the board before the summer. And that's all I have for this evening.
Okay, thank you. All right, that brings us to item number 8, new business. We have a proposed 2027-2028 school year calendar. And that's just an informational item at this point.
Yeah, so I just so we usually, as a board, revise next year's and adopt the year after. So we're always having 2 years of calendars out. But because we made a couple adjustments with February break last month to the other calendar, we decided to do one calendar at a time and see what the board decided. This calendar for the 27-28 school year mirrors everything that you agreed upon for the 2026, 2027. But this is your first look at it, and so we'll discuss it at the next meeting.
All right. Item number 9, business managers report and personnel report.
So while Brian's report was pretty short, mine is probably going to be pretty long. So my apologies in advance. So we've got obviously a lot of, there's a lot of balls in the air right now. Right? So in no particular order, and most of this will be in the report that I provided you in writing, but for the sake of the public, I want to go over some of those things. So the Plymouth Center roof project, where we stand right now is we have had an infrared scan of the roof at Plymouth Center that was conducted on April 11th. I have received the report. The purpose of that scan was to determine if there is moisture underneath the roof structure, and indeed there is. And it appears to me, based on the report, that it's the whole entire roof is showing signs of moisture. So, next steps. Jim Mazon had our roofing company that we're working with right now, Garland, come out today. They walked the entire Plymouth Center roof today for 2 hours, and I will have a quote, an estimate for roof replacement. Should have it by Friday, and that's at the request of the town council. They were hoping I could have those, at least some kind of a number for them for the Tuesday meeting. From there, we would then progress with what that project looks like, where the funding comes from, RFPs, all of those things. But the first steps are being taken so that we can get an idea of what we need to do. For the Fisher and Eli roof projects, we're in sort of the same phase, but I've separated them out. Once we figure out where we are with the Plymouth Center roof, we will do scans of both of those buildings because that becomes the foundation for future projects. So that's where we are with roofs at 3 different buildings. The heating system at Fisher Elementary, I have an updated quote. And it's a little bit less than what I gave you a month ago. The new quote is for $253,937. And once you back out the incentives that we may receive from Eversource of $37,700, the net cost would be $216,232. Backing out the grant, the DRIP grant of $98,223, that leaves us a balance of about $118,000. And what I presented to the Finance and Operations Committee on Monday was my request for them to move forward to the board to use $120,000 out of the 2% non-lapsing account so we can move that project forward, get it on the books, and get it completed over this summer. And that will take care of that particular project. I'm not going to bleed into the committee reports. I'm going to give you the facts at this point. So that is my request. That was my request of the committees. The playground project at Plymouth Center School is moving forward. The order is placed. We should see that equipment here 6 to 8 weeks from now. Scheduling for the installation is contingent on receiving that and what their schedule looks like. But what I'm hearing is that we should be able to have this done perhaps by the end of the year, but definitely through the summer. We'll start the school year with a new playscape there at Plymouth Center. And I know that Brian is working with the mayor to have the town perhaps take the playscape, and if not, he has contingency plans on that. Over the break, we replaced the carpet at Fisher Elementary School, much needed. Even the installer said to us, Yeah, it was time. And we were able to do that at no cost to our operational budget. It was a little over $12,000. We were able to do that through our partnership with HES. We have allowances in that contract for building maintenance, supplies, and I always forget what the third thing is. But regardless, there was money to work with there, and they had agreed to shift some things in their accounts that allow us to do this. So that's done. There is a possibility that we will be able to also take care of the stairs. You've heard me talk about the safety issue with the stairs at Eli Terry. We may be able to do the same thing this year as well, but we have to see where we kind of finish out. Again, creative use of how we get things done, and we continue to do that. Parking lots are a big conversation here at the schools. I know that we've had board members walking them, and it's a big topic. First, I want to say thank you to the Public Works Department, because they did come here to the schools and help remove all of the stuff that was pushed up onto our grass areas, and they took all of the banged up and beat up curbing out of here so that our staff didn't have to do that. And I do know that the town is working with the contractors to come up with at least some kind of resolution for how some of it's going to get fixed. It's a huge undertaking. This winter has been brutal on our grounds. It's not just here with the parking lots, but it's sidewalks in other buildings, and it's been a tough winter. The nurses' contract negotiations went very well. We basically have a deal in place. It'll come to the full board once our insurance issues are resolved with what we're moving to. And I can't say how amicable both sides were. It was a very simple process. Food services. So food services made a boatload of money this month, it looks like on paper, but it's because we got a really nice grant. We got a reimbursement from the state for all of our free and reduced breakfasts. We get that once a year. But they still did turn a profit of $2,800. And again, as I've said to you over and over and over again, as long as that program is breaking even, we are really doing a good job. There are many districts out there that are in the negative. In fact, Mr. Engel commented on that last night at last night's meeting, that he was both impressed and surprised that we were in that stage. And then lastly, for this year's budget, I'm very confident to say that we are going to end the year with somewhere around $100,000 in surplus. That sounds like a really big number, right? But it's 0.36% of our budget, which is a little too close for me and Brian. And as I sit here, from the time I wrote this to sitting here now, there's already things that are coming through that are going to impact that. But again, we will end with a surplus, whether it's 100,000 or something less than that. Kind of depends on Beth and her department.
I knew that was coming.
And also what we are doing for some of these projects that we have out there, right? The scans were $5,000. That was not something in my calculation at this point, but it's something we need to do. So that all impacts how this works out. But again, we're going to end the year in a good spot. And as we get to May and June, I will then be making kind of some recommendations to what I think that the board should consider with what we do with what that surplus looks like. So that's all I have. Trying to keep it short because I know that we're going to review some of it again when you guys do your committee reports. So if you have questions, fire away. I'll do my best to answer them.
I have one question for you.
Yes, sir.
The solar company that Jim Mazon contacted, which is probably 3 or 4 solar companies from original solar company that we had. Were we able to get a contract?
I have the contract.
We have a contract.
I was able to access Mike Santagata's account, which had the contract in it. So I have it.
So we do have the contract. We are like 10 years into the contract, so we have about 10 years to go. And you're correct, it's not the contract exists, but it's not the contract, it's not the company that issued it. It's, it's kind of like when they sell your mortgage, it's the same thing.
Yeah, 'cause the original company actually went bankrupt and then they got
Correct.
bought out by someone else. The wind turn probably got bought out by somebody else, so.
Yes.
All right, but we do, the good thing about it is that we finally have
We have a contract.
that original contract.
Yes, we
So
do.
we can ascertain on what it's gonna actually cost if we have to do any type of work at Plymouth Center. Because, in all honesty, when you go to Plymouth Center, when you look up, you see the sky. When you take a drone and you look down, well, that entire roof has solar panels on it.
Does.
So if we are gonna do a whole revision of that roof, all those solar panels have to come off, and there's a cost associated with taking those solar panels off, and then putting them back on, and paying the company for lost energy incurred on how long it takes us to do that roof. So, thank you for the information, greatly appreciated.
Any other questions for Matt?
Let me off easy this week.
All right. Mr. Falcone, personnel report.
There's just one, I guess, oversight. It says under Terryville High School on page 2 for the postings, we have a social studies teacher to hire. We hired her after we already kind of did this, and we added her last minute. So we did hire the social studies teacher for the high school. So.
All right, that brings us to item number 10. Again, public comment. We will start with in-person public comments. Seeing none, do we have any online public comment?
We do not.
All right. Moving on to committee reports. Curriculum instruction, Mrs. Tilton.
All right. Yeah, so we talked about special education programs and people personnel services. It's really fantastic how everybody works so hard in the district to meet all the diverse needs of our students. There's definitely a lot of balls in the air and a lot of needs for the kids, and it's really amazing all the different programs we have in place to make sure every child gets what they need to be successful at learning. Also, we looked at some mid-year data. We're showing some fantastic growth, and that is commendable considering the new curriculum that's been put in place. That's a big task for our teachers, so kudos to everyone for getting to know not just Win Wisdom, but the IXL as well. So great job to everyone on that, and thank you to everybody for all your hard work. You guys are almost done. Keep up the good work.
All right, well, you can continue on with your next committee, Ad Hoc Policy Committee.
Okay. So we have a couple of policies. We've talked about them before, mostly regarding the audit with the school lunch program. So those are just, the usual legal stuff. So you guys should be getting those for your first read. We'd like to move them forward for that.
And Mr. Bovenier for Finance and Operations.
Okay, on Monday, April 13th at 6 p.m., we had a Finance and Operations committee meeting. Unfortunately, our council liaison wasn't able to attend due to a flat tire. Actually showed me the receipt last night of what it cost him.
Yeah, you tried to pawn it off on me.
So, but we had a lot to go through. And at the end of my summary, I will also have to bring a motion for it to the Board of Education concerning our heat pumps. Okay, so Plymouth Center walkthrough. We had 4 members from the Board of Education who came to that walkthrough, which is pretty surprising because usually it's myself and Pat, or it's usually just Pat, or it's usually myself. So Nicole Corey showed up, Dick Foote showed up, it was myself, Pat, the business manager, Matt, Jim Mazon was there, and Mark Lyons, who is the head custodian at Plymouth Center. And we walked through the area where we had significant damage this winter with ceiling tiles and leakage through the roof system, and in an area where it actually went through our fire control panel, all right, which cost us $21,000 to fix. And some of the so-called fixes that Jim Mazon and his crew, maintenance crew, came up with, put a bladder where that drain technically was draining into that fire control room, to show us where they're capturing water. And then as you walk through that hallway too, there were 55-gallon trash cans there catching water. You can see the significant damage that was done with missing tiles. Also, where those barrels were, it was kind of inhibiting the flow of traffic, not to the point where you couldn't get through, but it squeezed the corridor down a little bit. And then as we walked through the school, we saw some other damage that had in some ceiling tiles that probably had been there for years. So over time, that roof has been leaking, but not as bad as what it leaked because of this previous winter. The other thing that we went through too is that the sidewalks that are at Plymouth Center. If you go to Plymouth Center right now, I think there's more cones than students at Plymouth Center. The sidewalk is heaving, and it's been heaving over the years. And we've been putting little Band-Aids on it to correct the problem, but it only lasts a couple of years. At the meeting last night, for us presenting our budget to town council, one of the council members asked if we could get them a quote on how much it would cost to replace that sidewalk. Okay, there's two options we could do. We could do concrete or we could do asphalt, depends on which way. And in all honesty, it's gonna be a capital project. That's something that the Board of Ed will not be able to afford to do, all right? Heat pumps at Harry S. Fisher, as Matt alluded to, we do have a price, okay? Looks like we're gonna have to use $120,000 on our non-lapsing account, and I will address that at the end. Conversation concerning damages to Cherville High School and the other schools as far as what happened with winter operations this year. Most of the schools I went through, just broken curb, a couple of small little things that it does happen in the wintertime when you plow. From my own experiences, I know it, I did it for 20 years, okay? The worst school is Cherville High School, okay? This parking lot has had issues for 20 years, okay? This is a general contractor's problem, all right? The general contractor who came here and installed this school, okay, when it came to doing the parking lot, about 2 years after the school was open, there was an area of the parking lot where there was water seeping through the asphalt. So the state came in, took some core samples, and realized that the base was not up to the state specifications when this high school was built. So technically, the base that is under the asphalt here is no good. From my understanding, when I was on the board at the time, the clerk of the works went bankrupt, and from individuals who spoke to me concerning the bond had already lapsed. So the town had no way of recouping whatever it was gonna cost to fix that parking lot. So let's fast forward 20 years. As you go out there today, as one of my members said the other night at my meeting, we probably could have a pool party out there. All right, it's really, really bad. You can see ripples in the asphalt where people park because of the weight of the vehicles. And this is the way the parking lot goes, because where their tires are, there's a little mound in the middle, all right? You can also see catch basins that are, I don't know, 2 to 3 inches higher than the asphalt. That means that the catch basin isn't rising, the asphalt is sinking. So that's something that's, at some point in time, the town is gonna have to address that. How they're gonna address it, I couldn't tell you. Nurses contract, I guess evidently went really, really well. Yeah, Matt, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe it's 3 years, 8% increase.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, so 3 years, 8% increase, and they're having a conversation right now about healthcare, because right now we're having conversations with every other union, because we more than likely will be trying to change our healthcare policy. Replacement of carpet at Harriet Fisher, as Matt alluded to, that was done over April vacation at technically no cost to us because of our HES contract. Status of the playscape at Plymouth Center, looks like that's gonna, HES is gonna help us with that. We did have to extend our contract another couple of years with them, which in all honesty is really, really good because of the fact that they're saving us approximately $70,000 for that playscape. That playscape is coming in at $103,000. And I do believe there was
We have an activity account with about $33,000 in there, so.
all right, so that'll help, and hopefully by the school year, next school year, that'll be in there. Summary of forecasted budget by the end of the year, as Matt alluded to, looks like we have, at this point in time, approximately $100,000. And we'll see what happens at June 15th on that board meeting, what we have left and where we're gonna allocate that money to. All right, so back to the non-lapsing account. I need to make a motion this evening that we, the Board of Education, are allowing $120,000 to be taken out of the non-lapsing account to address the heat pumps at Harriet Fisher.
Jerry, it might have to be is it the whole thing and then we reimburse with the grant, Matt?
No, because we're gonna get the grant. So what Jerry is saying
Is accurate?
is
All right.
okay.
Okay.
Because we are definitely gonna get the grant. That's been confirmed. We're just waiting for the payment to come.
All right, just making sure. We're good. Sorry, Jerry.
That's okay.
So
moved.
Because it coming from committee, do we not need a second? Is that how that works, or is it?
That's correct.
Okay, so Jerry made the motion. Yeah, Jerry made the motion, so we're all set. We're gonna do a roll call vote on this. Does anybody have any questions for Jerry or Matt or anything before we do the roll call?
One quick question, Matt, when are we getting that money from that grant?
That grant, they said we will get no later than June 30th, 2026, but they expect it to be released earlier. What they're waiting for is all the other districts to send in the paperwork that Brian and I had to send in. The deadline was today. So once all that money's in, once all those paperwork is in, that the districts want the money, because you could turn it down, then it will be issued out.
And we know that the money is not going to change, the amount that you
Money's not
gave
going
us
to
is
change.
not going to
That's
change.
set.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions? All right, Mrs. Tilton,
Yes.
Mr. Showers.
Yes.
Mr. Foote,
Yes.
Mr. Bourbonnier,
Yes.
Mrs. Palmer,
Yes.
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
and Mrs. Allen.
Yes.
Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in favor, 0 opposed, motion passes. All right. Now we will move on to board liaison reports. Mrs. Palmer for Plymouth Center School.
I apologize, their meeting was last night and I was unable to attend as I was
Why?
at the town council meeting. So I do apologize. I
Should
don't
have
have
found a way to
anything-
be in both.
I apologize.
Mrs. Allen for Fisher Elementary.
We had the wrestling fundraiser, which, that was it was a scene. It was a scene. They had so much fun, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be talking about it for a long time.
Great.
So, that was great. Right now, we also have a, flower and bulb fundraiser that is going on. So I believe that one ends the end of April. Then we also have our school store, which is happening this Friday. And we're in the middle of planning 5th grade celebration and teacher appreciation week. So a lot of fun things coming up.
Okay, great. All right, Eli Terry Junior Middle School, whoever would like to take that one.
We, again, had wrestling. We are planning for graduation, and we have a dance next Friday, which is always a good time. And it's a good time for the kids.
Yeah.
Very
good.
It's
For the
a
kids,
great
yes.
time. And then we're planning for the 8th grade dance. We're doing something different this year where there's actually an 8th grade committee that plans their own dance,
Nice.
and then PTA pays for it. So that's going to be a whole different thing. So other than that, we don't really have much. We have Grit and Wit on May 15th, which is always a good day. And yeah, that's about it.
Great. Mr. Foote, Terryville High School?
The PTSA is getting ready, obviously, for the after grad party. Several things are going on. What's coming up is the grad signs this month and Mother's Day flowers. So they're doing quite well. Getting ready for it.
They're reaching their goal? Their fundraising goal?
I believe they will.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, that brings us to item 13, board comments. Let's start with you, Mr. Showers.
Well, I congratulate all the superintendent recognition award winners. That's fantastic what they do in schools. And the trades, that's another great thing for students. I was in that when I was back in high school, way back when. And I actually did go into the trade that I was working in.
Nice.
With printing. I printed for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's all I got for
Excellent.
tonight.
Stilton?
You stole my comments. Also, congratulations to the students. Wonderful, great role models for the community. And thanks to Mrs. Glazer. I know I've heard fantastic things about her. And to the teachers, you guys are almost done. Keep up the good work. Hope you enjoy some Teacher Appreciation Week and get through that final push to the end of the year.
Mr. Foote?
I too am impressed with what we saw here tonight with all the honorees, et cetera, but I especially would like to give tribute to the staff for scheduling and organizing these career visitations and such. That's a big job. And then thanks too to the agencies and businesses in town that allow that to happen, because they don't have to do it.
No. Thank you. Mrs. Allen?
Again, a great job for the students. The recognition, based off of what we've heard about them is absolutely warranted. So kudos to them. I love to see what the Career Center is doing because, I think it's just as important about, like exposing them to these careers, those other life skills that they're teaching them, how to carry on a conversation in a professional manner, how to speak in public, which we all know is not necessarily easy for everyone. So I'm very happy to see that they're teaching these kinds of skills, resume writing, things like that, that are really going to help these kids, once they leave high school.
Absolutely. Mrs. Corey?
I am so stinking proud to see these little kids come up. Not even little, they're grown, but like I look at them and hear all of the things that like the teachers and stuff say about them, and I have known a lot of them since they were in kindergarten or younger, and I see them and I'm like, those really are the kids in our schools and we should all be really, really proud that those are the kinds of kids that we have here in town.
Mrs. Palmer?
I'm really impressed with the middle school presentation. That I'm glad that they're able to start coming to our meetings and presenting. That was very insightful. Like everybody else said, the Career Center, I was very impressed. And the teachers should be very proud of how she is touching the students. Like Brian said, that story, she should be very proud of that. And her work is not going unnoticed and helping our students.
Absolutely. Mr. Bourbonnais?
Well, I really would like to thank Julie Matusak. She did an awesome job. She really did. And as Fallon and Tiana were talking, she was totally engrossed. I was watching her. Okay, she was captivated by every single thing that they were saying. So shout out to her. She did a really, really good job. Also, shout out to the Superintendent Student Recognition Award recipients from Eli Terry and also from Terryville High School. That's a huge acknowledgement for those kids. Okay. Also, congratulations to the Career Center, bringing those students up to at least enlighten us on how that Career Center has, I can't say it's changed their lives, but it put them in a direction that they probably didn't have when they came to this high school. All right, and some of those kids that are actually taking the trades, okay, probably 10, 15 years ago, that wouldn't even been on the list, for them to do because everybody was trying to put them into a college career, because that's where they need to go. The other thing that I would like to talk about this evening is about last night and the presentation. All right, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information this evening. I'll do it really, really quick. If everybody remembered the 2% increase here that we got last night, what you need to look at is the negative 0.51%. That was during Dr. Semmel and Mayor Merchant's tenure. Okay? We got a letter from the state of Connecticut saying that we did not meet our MBR, which means that when you don't meet your MBR, for every dollar you miss, they take $2 away. So the town had to come up with some money in order not to give back $2 more. So just, let's say it was $150,000 short, we would have to give them a check for $300,000 and lost that money through ECS grant money. So next year, we would have been $300,000 short. So when you look at this is only from 2010 to 2011. There's a couple of years when Dr. DeStasio was here, we had 0% increases.
4 years.
All right? So we in the
That's
school
totally
district
insane.
are doing the best that we possibly can with money that we never, ever were able to get because of 0% increases. And we're paying for it right now. Okay? So those are things that you need to do. The other thing that you need to understand too is that this town belongs to the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. Okay, I have an account with them. They sent me a little ECS formula grant. Right now, the state since 2013 has only been paying $11,525 per student and per pupil costs since 2013. The state of Massachusetts pays $14,343. All right, $3,000 more than us per pupil. All right, there's 10 districts in the state of Connecticut right now that only have, their per pupil costs are associated with $10,343. The state of Connecticut is not doing a great job with education. They just aren't. It's just like what's happening with the pension fund. They don't put any money into those programs, and then when somebody realizes that they need to put money into it, well, unfortunately, they're so far behind the 8 ball, they can't do it because of the astronomical amount of money that they have to put in. So just to kind of give you an idea, what our per pupil costs are, I have way too much time on my hands. Our per pupil costs as of 2023, 2024 are $20,079. In 2022, 2023, our per pupil costs were $15,777. If you take the discrepancy between our current per pupil cost and what the state is paying us, each student in this town is not getting $8,554. We have approximately 1,239 students. The state owes us, since 2013, they owe us $10,598,406.
Good luck.
But just think where $10 million, $10.6 million could do for this education system right now. Also, just think what it would do to your mill rate, okay, if we got $10 million. Right now, the mill rate as of last night is going to be 28.04. If we had $10 million in there, and if the mill rate, approximately $1 million is a 1 mil increase, we could probably take 10 mils off of that and could be at 18. These are some of the things that people need to understand. These are what people need to understand. The state legislatures, anybody, I don't care what town they're in, what city they're in, they're hurting the education system in the state of Connecticut. And people wonder why companies like GE leave here. Okay, why do they go somewhere else? All right, well, the proof is in the pudding here. That's the way it goes. You know, so people, I can tell each and every one of these, I know I go to coffee hours with these state reps, but you gotta hammer them, you really do. The state's gotta do something, because the onus can no longer be on the local taxpayers, the local business owners that have to pay property taxes, because the state will not fulfill their obligations to finance education. That's it for me.
Thanks. Mr. Falcone?
I just want to take a second to thank the town council for their time yesterday and sitting with the board and asking really good questions and just hearing what our priorities are and where we're struggling. They didn't have to do that. They haven't done that in the past. I think that is a big piece. We're one of the biggest chunks of the taxpayer dollars comes to education and the value of education. Everyone values it. It's just a matter of there's so many different priorities out there. But I want to thank them for their time. I really do think they heard us and they're going to do everything they can for us. And so I do appreciate that.
All right, thank you, everybody. Our next regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education is on Wednesday, May 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the cafeteria at Terryville High School. I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:24 p.m.
So moved.
Mr. Showers, Mrs. Palmer, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone. No, you weren't.
Well, I did
I wasn't